What's going on, guys? Jake Peffer here. Welcome back to Jake's Cinema Room. I took a little bit of a hiatus from my channel, but I am back after 2 months here again to review movies for you guys. So, what better movie to start off with than with the latest movie from the MCU, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Now this movie, it's the kickoff to Phase 5. Not only does it kick off Phase 5, it kind of sets up a lot that's going to happen in future installments of MCU movies, specifically like the Avengers and whatnot. So, how well does it kick off things? Me personally, I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought this was a pretty solid movie overall. Is it the best movie in the MCU? No. Is it top 10? No. Is it the best movie in the Ant-Man franchise? Even there, I would probably say no. But it's definitely not anywhere close to the bottom of the list. And for what it is and what it puts forth on screen, I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. This one does kind of transition things a little bit, where the Ant-Man movies that preceded this relied a lot more on the comedy side of things. This one still has a lot of comedy involved with it, but it definitely focuses somewhat more on the dramatic tone, because we're introducing the new villain that is supposed to be the villain throughout the rest of this saga for the MCU, Kang the Conqueror. And because he gets put into this movie, the comedy is dialed back some, and you get a little bit more action, and like I said, a little bit more dramatic moments. But overall, I think it has a pretty nice balance between the two. With this movie, like I said, you got Kang the Conqueror coming in for his first appearance in the MCU. One of his variants did show up at the end of Loki, which was cool to see, but now we're getting a full-on Kang that's supposed to be the new big bad. And Jonathan Majors as this character, I think, does an incredible job. He definitely steals this movie for sure. Everyone else in it is doing a fine job too, but he's definitely the highlight of the movie. Once he comes into the movie, his presence just kind of overtakes everything else. And honestly, by the end of it, I was wanting more of him. And I know we're going to get that, but it's just a matter of he did so well that, I really want more of that character right now. Like I said, elsewhere in the cast, you got Paul Rudd coming back as Scott Lang, a.k.a. Ant-Man. He does a good job once again. I've liked seeing his growth from the first Ant-Man movie up until this one. I think he's still doing a good job with the character, and here there's a little bit more at stake for him on a personal level, and I like the way that he kind of balances that out while still being very humorous and very charming throughout the movie. But he does balance everything really well with his character. Evangeline Lilly is back as Hope Van Dyne, a.k.a. the Wasp. She's good once again. However, it does feel like her character doesn't get to do quite as much as some of the others. So her and Michael Douglas, who also returns as Hank Pym, both of them kind of take a little bit of a step back, but I still think they put in good work. Michelle Pfeiffer, on the other hand, who's back as Janet Van Dyne, she gets kind of put more in the forefront and has a larger part in this movie than she did in the previous Ant-Man. And I like them kind of delving back into her character and showing what she was going through when she was in the quantum realm, something we didn't really get to explore in Ant-Man and the Wasp. And it definitely shows a different side of her, and I really enjoyed the depth that they finally started putting into her character. You also have Catherine Newton, who is now the new Cassie Lang. She does a good job. She's a welcome addition to the cast. She gets a lot more of the heft thrown onto her for this particular storyline. A lot of it is mostly her and Scott, and I think she, like I said, I think she does a good job with it. Honestly, I don't know if they really needed to recast this role for a second time, but nonetheless, they hired a good, young, up-and-coming actress, and I think she does well with the role. Outside of the cast, as far as everything else, the plot line in the movie does at times feel a little bit rushed. This is a movie that clocks in just over 2 hours, and that's with the credits and everything. So this is definitely one of the shorter, more recent movies from Marvel. So it does feel a little bit rushed at times, especially once you get to the end and how everything kind of wraps up. It does feel like it could have maybe used actually a little bit more to it. This is one of the few instances where I think the movie could have stand to have maybe another 10 to 15 minutes tacked onto it just to build a little bit more depth, especially here in the quantum realm. But overall, it still works out for the most part. The effects and everything, they're a little hit or miss here. Because you're in the quantum realm throughout the entirety of the movie, you do have a lot of green screen going on. You have a lot of new characters that are definitely CGI, and you have a lot of effects-heavy scenery going on. And some of it looks good. Some of it looks like it could have maybe used a little bit more polishing. But overall, I think for the most part, it definitely works more than it doesn't. All in all, like I said, I think it's a solid movie. It does have its flaws here and there. Like I said, it's definitely not top-tier MCU material, but it's far from the bottom as well. It's definitely more of a middle-of-the-pack movie, but there's enough here to enjoy. If you're a fan of the Ant-Man characters, I think you're really going to have a good time. And just, if you're a fan of the MCU in general, I think you're going to enjoy it as well. Overall, I would probably give the movie about a 7 out of 10. Like I said, it's got some good going on. It does have flaws here and there, but overall, there's enough here for me to enjoy, and I think most audiences are going to enjoy it as well. That's about it for me, guys. If you have seen Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more reviews in the near future. I'll leave all my links below on where you can follow me and where you can read more of my reviews on other sites. And until next time, guys, I will catch you all later.